Welcome back to the New York Sports Exchange, episode number 157. And Tim, our teams are officially, we knew this for a while, but they are officially in free fall. It's over.
Yeah.
Pack it up. Daniel Jones, benched. Joe Douglas,
Canned.
fired. Tommy DeVito, QB1. Aaron Rodgers, might not be a Jet this year, or next year.
Yeah. Woody Johnson, get the hell out of here.
He's got to go.
Oh, my
He
God.
has
I was
got
considering
to go.
benching Aaron Rodgers after week 4.
I would have.
What? Come
I
on.
would have.
Come on.
It all went downhill after that. They fired Saleh. That was it.
I mean, it was just a mess from the get-go. Let's be real. It never worked.
That's true. That's true. All right, we will dive into NFL. College football. The college football playoff rankings are out. There's a lot of heat towards the rankings. Indiana, should they be in? Are they going to get screwed? Do you think that they're going to get screwed?
We'll have to see. I mean, they screw someone over every year.
They screw someone over every year, somehow, some way. This 12-team playoff, they've hyped it up as no one's going to get screwed, and then someone might get screwed.
Someone's going to get screwed.
Are we going to see a 3-loss SEC team in the playoff? If that happens, the sport is tough.
Probably.
If that happens, the sport is done.
Over BYU.
Dive into college football. NBA. The Knicks, winners of 3 straight. Yes, 3 straight. Rangers, winners of 3 straight. Dalton Connect, that boy good.
Yes, he is.
I told you. Jared McCain, that boy good. Very good. Pretty good. And then nothing new from MLB, unless Mets get Jose Siri.
Yeah,
That's
there's something.
Not news.
I mean, I don't know. All I'm hearing about these Soto meetings is just getting me so amped up because But the thing is, apparently every team's been a good meeting. So
the Cavs' undefeated season is over.
Yeah, it had to come to an end. I mean, what do you go into a game without 3 of your top?
That's
you mean
fair.
3 guys you rely on heavily, and Darius Garland did not play very well. So, and actually now he's out, so he was dealing with some lingering injury.
Dealing with some type of injury. You bring that up. I do. Okay, he needs 3 more assists. Donovan Mitchell. All right, let's just dive right into it. Let's start with the Jets. The New York Jets have fired Joe Douglas after their loss against the Indianapolis Colts. I feel like
you saw it coming. You saw it coming. I mean,
you saw it coming
at a certain
time
point.
and time again. It felt like that. Yes, it felt like he was building something. These past 6 years, it felt like Sauce and Garrett and making all these signings. He was a good GM personnel wise. But the wins and losses, he's one of the worst GMs in Jet history.
Just never had the right fit guys. Never had. We're not looking for the best players. We're looking for the right players. Come on, that's Herb Brooks. That's Herb Brooks. Everyone knows that. Come on.
You might have found something special with Robert Saleh, and then ownership got in the way. And then now, this whole thing with Aaron Rodgers, it felt like this was a long time coming. Because, yes, while the hits that Joe Douglas had are highlighted,
the misses are worse.
Are so much worse. The Aaron Rodgers trade.
Zach
Wilson draft pick. Hassan, I know he's signed, but Hassan Reddick holding out.
Letting guys walk. I mean, they beefed up the line. AVT, I mean, I don't know. There's just, you can't.
It's bad.
Like you said, they went for the big name guys. They went for the big name guys and not the right guys. And that's what it was. The defense last year had so much chemistry. What are we doing breaking it up? We have the money to keep it together.
And then did you hear that Jerry Jeudy rumor?
What? That he's coming here?
No, that you guys were going to trade for Jerry Jeudy for Alan Lazard and a 3rd-round pick or something like that.
Why?
I want to say 3rd-round pick. I don't know. There was it had something to do with Woody where I have to find this.
I mean, Woody needed this to work. He even came out and said, this is the best roster I've had in 25 years. It's just, this is one of the worst teams I've watched.
What are they? They are 3-8. Best roster that he's had in years. 3-8. This is, if you're a Jet fan, this is a disaster. Here we go. This is what I wanted to hear. Joe Douglas offered a draft day, not a draft day trade, sorry. Lazard and a day 2 pick for Jerry Jeudy. Woody Johnson said, absolutely not. He was like, "Do not offer that." These are
Woody's
just
got his hands in everything.
This is just the implications from the Athletic.
mean, on draft day, that sounds like a great trade. Now looking at it, it's like
looking back at it, yeah. Well, I mean, he did have a good game last week, Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, but Allen Lazard's had some good games. I mean, it's
so
they need that pick now.
This is according to the Athletic. This is what these are the implications that have been made. We did hear the rumor that after their loss to the Broncos, Woody Johnson called a meeting with coaches and front office executives and suggested that the team would bench Aaron Rodgers in favor of Tyrod Taylor. The move apparently stunned coaches and Douglas, who convinced Woody out of it and that it would embarrass Aaron and not sit well with the locker room. There were other things as well. Woody Johnson unilaterally fired Robert Saleh on October 8th without consulting anyone. Woody Johnson blocked Bryce Huff extension talks from Joe Douglas. We mentioned the Jerry Jeudy trade. Woody Johnson's micromanagement of Joe Douglas, after forcing Douglas to fire close friend Rex Hogan. Following the move, it theorized, Douglas told staffers, Woody should just fire me now. When Chad Alexander, the top advisor to Joe Douglas, left for the Chargers, Johnson blocked Douglas from replacing him, further diminishing his authority. Hassan Reddick kept on going with the holdout after Johnson refused to negotiate a contract extension. The hits keep coming. They keep coming. There's like 4 more here. Tyron Smith and Mike Williams signings were Woody Johnson driven. Woody Johnson also pushed for the Devontae Adams trade. Woody Johnson benched Tony Adams against the wishes of the coaching staff. And Aaron Rodgers likely will not return, with Woody Johnson preferring to move on.
I mean, he's right about the last thing, but
yes, you should move on. New GM, new head coach. There's a great market out there, but here's the thing. Even if you hire anyone, how do you have faith?
You don't. I mean, this is, and it's a reason why they're stuck in this situation every single year. And everyone, you can blame it on anyone. You could blame it on the front office. Yeah, front office had issues, coaching's had issues, but it stems to one problem, and it's always been Woody Johnson. He's always been the issue. We like to talk smack about Jerry Jones and other guys out, ownership.
He's up there for top Woody Johnson. The worst.
He's one of the worst.
I think now that it hasn't really been talked about much. Because for the last couple, no offense to him, but for the last couple of years, the Jets have had
no one
not this talented of a roster, and the fact that they're having this talented of a roster and 3-8.
Yeah, no, it's not. He's
good. Up there. He's the most hated man in the fucking state right now, New York and New Jersey.
Well, Daniel Jones might, but
that's over. But
is it? Give it a week.
If they go back to him, I'll talk about what happens. Basically, with the Jets now, who do you want as GM, as head coach, at quarterback even?
This is gonna all of these is just whoever I want. They're not gonna go get because getting Dan Lanning as a head coach would be great for me. I would love that. I would love to see something like that. Yeah, no. I'm okay. I saw already he would be the head coach of the Cowboys if they drafted what they just signed Dak. I mean, this whole publicity stunt's nuts. I don't need another publicity stunt like that in my life. Am I crazy to say that if they go out and get Justin Fields with the talent that they have, it might be able to put something comprehensible together? Am I crazy for saying that?
Who is this? The Jets?
The Jets. Yeah.
I don't know. I still think
depending on the pick they get, because
it depends. Well, that and you've got to get good coaching, because I think that when Justin Fields came in for bits and pieces of that Ravens game last week, he still didn't look good. But they're able to disguise that because of great coaching. That's what Mike Tomlin does.
Yeah.
But I just don't do you want a guy like Ben Johnson? Do you want an offensively driven guy? Do you want a guy like Vrabel?
Do they go get Flores?
Do they go get Brian Flores? There's really I don't see light at the end of the tunnel here.
It's dim right now, but they're not going to make them. We're not going to know anything yet till the season's over, obviously. I mean, this is, again, it's over. Not statistically. Obviously, delusional Jets fans will say the AFC is so bad they have a shot. We don't. I mean, we're not winning out.
No,
with the product we're doing now, it's over. But they need they need, as bad as our offense is, Stan, I know what the hell is wrong with the defense.
Needs help.
They need to completely flip this, get a defensive-minded head coach. I don't know if Ulbricht's going to want to go back to defensive coordinator. I don't know what I don't even know what this thing's going to work out anymore. I mean,
he might not even bring him back.
I was going to say, I mean, he's losing. Yeah, I was just about to say he's losing a little reputation here. He was on his high horse as defensive coordinator. Now we're moving him around. It just isn't looking good. I don't know. I really don't know where they go. And they put him in this situation. We said when this was, oh my gosh, if it doesn't work out, it's going to work out. Well, it didn't work out. Now we're sitting in the part where it didn't work out. And we were talking about this earlier. You're digging yourself a hole with a 45-year-old quarterback. You don't really have any future back there.
But you get the point.
Yeah. Like, I mean, are you sticking with Jordan Travis? You drafted him late. Do you give him a shot? There's so many questions to be answered. But right now, for me, they need to restructure their defense. Get people know to tackle.
I know you mentioned the defense. Like, I swear to God, if Aaron Rodgers, if this was the same team
as last year,
not as last year, but I'm just saying, like, if your quarterback's name is not Aaron Rodgers, he's riding pine right now. Like, we can talk about the defense. We can talk about the coaching, all this. Woody Johnson. Aaron Rodgers has not been good. And that's what you get. That's what you get with a 41-year-old quarterback.
And they said, I mean, maybe next year he's a little more healthy and he's rehabbed a little more. But I mean, you got defensive tackles saying, I feel bad for the guy back there. He can't move. And like I said earlier, it's very reminiscent of how Pittsburgh was in Big Ben's final season. It's just, I mean, holding by the skin of their teeth, and he can't move back there. And yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh benefits from a fantastic defense. We don't have that this year to bail us out like they did last year with Zach Wilson. So there's no light at the end of the tunnel right now. Everyone's regressing. I mean, Sauce Gardner's somehow getting worse, which is not something you want to see.
That's insane.
Quincy Williams is the only guy I will say every week that I am.
Yeah.
Give the man his flowers. He's
Quentin Williams had a pretty good game too against.
They're both good. It's kind of disappointing because I mean he doesn't have much help in the D line, so he's getting double teamed, and then no one gets in the backfield. And Quincy's fast, but it's just they stink. They really stink on all aspects of football. No, they stink.
They're not good. Moving on to the Giants, who also suck. By the way, I don't know if any of you knew that. They finally did it. They benched Daniel Jones. The Daniel Jones era is over. I feel like I've been getting mixed signals from...
It doesn't make you any better as a team.
It doesn't make you any better, number one, because God knows what's going to happen with Tommy DeVito.
But it lowers your expectations. And as a Giants fan, that's all you can ask for right now.
But my thing with that is, like, it's the right process, but I'll be honest, we could be getting the wrong results.
Yeah.
Like, that's... Like, DeVito popped off 3 straight games. 3 straight wins. Now, albeit 2 of them were against bad teams. 1 of them was against a fucking playoff team. But
they got
still,
film
like
on
that,
him now, though.
That's
they know
the
he
part
can't throw
that,
the ball.
Worries me.
He can't throw the ball.
I know, but like, I'm getting mixed signals from everybody, from top to bottom.
I don't think the team believes in him.
From the front office to head coaches to players, like John Mara saying literally all the time now, I'm not firing Shaden Dable. I don't want to get in the way of this one. I think Woody Johnson should take some advice. But literally, like, he keeps on saying it. And then we're getting reports from the media basically saying that these next 7 games are going to determine Brian Dable's future as Giants head coach. And then you're getting shit from players that are basically being like, I don't know why the fuck we did this. Like, this is stupid shit. And then you got Drew Lock, who signed here to be a backup. They signed into a $5 million contract. I don't know what he was told in offseason meetings. I don't know why he signed with this team. But it feels like he was basically told, if he sucks, you're going in. And he's not going in. And he's pretty pissed off.
Yeah, and unless
it's just a recipe for disaster.
Unless he's been so bad in practice to the point where you can't even trust him in a practice simulation, then maybe I go with Danny DeVito. But Tommy DeVito, whatever. I mean, that's the kind of play style he has. That's the kind of treatment he gets at the NFL. He's a clown. I mean, no offense, but the whole and I get it. I mean, maybe they're trying to pull what they did last year. Get this Italian publicity back in them, get a little momentum from the fans, but I just don't see this magical run happen again. I mean, Linsanity didn't happen twice, so...
Yeah, Linsanity did not happen twice. Once Linsanity was over, it was over.
Yep. No. They're both
just
moving
don't know.
backwards. They're
I
both
don't know what
moving
to say.
backwards.
And then we got anonymous players, and I can bet with all my money right now that anonymous player was Darius Slayton. I promise you that was Darius Slayton because he's always defending Daniel Jones. But let me find this freaking thing. This is a report from Jordan Schultz. Basically, Dexter Lawrence is doing some like charity thing and was asked about it. He said, he's the QB1 to me. He's the QB1 to me. He's the best quarterback in the team. An offensive player who I think is Darius Slayton, but and that's what other people are thinking as well, said, we're not idiots. They did it because of money, so be it. But Daniel has been all class, never complained, and now is being completely disregarded. The team record is bad. You can point fingers everywhere. To try to blame him as trash and making him third string is weak as fuck.
This is where I'm going to step in, and I'm going to put the blame on the front office because exactly from that quote is that is the best thrower in your room. That is the best thrower in your room. That's already
that's a bad
enough.
thing.
Yes.
And I've brought this up like 3 consecutive episodes, but the Russell Wilson thing. Like, look at what Russell Wilson's doing in Pittsburgh right now.
And this may sound crazy, but did they not bring any quarterback competition in the room because they thought he would
lose?
That's
the thing. That's the thing that blows my mind.
I think that's where I'm at.
They said to Russell Wilson, we'll sign you, but you will exclusively be a backup to Daniel Jones.
It's because they knew that he would lose the quarterback battle to pretty much any other guy in the league except for Drew Lock. And that's why you bring in Drew Lock.
That's what it feels like. That's honestly what it feels like. And also, to the people asking why they aren't starting Drew Lock for like the he's just as bad people, I believe he has incentives on his contract where like if he goes over a certain amount of yards, they owe him money. I think they want to save money on this one. So, but like it's ridiculous.
I'm sure he won't get those yards.
I'm almost certain he won't. But like the thing with DeVito, like this is what scares me though. Like this is what genuinely scares me with DeVito now, because if they start rattling off wins, it's not going to be good.
They're not, and then this is where the whole I feel bad to ruin your hope, but they're not. And where I would be scared is front office going to really just completely lose the team with moves like this? Are they just going to completely lose the team, and then you're going to have a whole downward effect where guys want out? That go back to the whole Jamal Adams situation. I mean, maybe he was right. Maybe he was right that Woody's crazy. Maybe he was making some sense in his head, but. You're gonna get stuff like that. That's not where you want to be as a team. Then you start signing Le'Veon Bell.
Oh God, start signing Le'Veon Bell. We just have to see what happens with this draft. I think that basically John Mara is saying that that you were bringing him back. I'm staying away. This is like our first 3-year head coach since this is our first. You ready for this? This is our first 3rd year with a head coach since Coughlin.
I was going to say, is it Tom Coughlin?
Since Coughlin.
Bring him back.
McAdoo for 1.5. Shermer for 2. Judge for 2. Dable for 3.
All right, well, we're not no similar boat over here. I've run through Adam Gase, Adam Gase era. I mean, I've been around the block here, buddy.
Yeah, but it all
Rex
depends
Ryan's
on
the longest head coach I've had.
Depends on who you take a quarterback.
I don't think this draft solves issues for either of these teams. Like major
I don't think
issues.
it does either.
I don't think it does.
Like the things that scouts are saying about Shedeur Sanders,
fine. That's completely fine. I do not see this miraculous turnaround that other teams somehow get from, and they set themselves up for it. But the Jets and the Giants, they don't. They don't set themselves up for it.
All right. We're gonna go. Actually, no. We're gonna do some.
Well, Chiefs lost.
Yeah, I'm about to pee my pants, so I'm going to stop this, and then we're going to come back.
Ah, you go do that.
All right, I'm back. Chiefs lost. Chiefs lose. Felt like this was a long time coming. It almost felt as if this was a game where they were just like, all right.
We have to lose one.
We have to lose one.
They're winning the Super Bowl. I hate, and it's going to be, and you know what, Stan? It's going to be nothing that Patrick Mahomes does. This defense, what? How are they understand. How were they so good? How are they so good? Even though the Bills won. All right, I don't even want to give the Bills their flowers because let's be honest here, and I could say this, Garrick, very confidently. I'm sure you could say the same thing. They're not winning the Super Bowl. Okay, it's not going to happen this year. It probably won't happen next year, and it probably won't happen the year after that. I just hate to be that guy, but that's how the Bills work.
Okay. Kelsey did not do much. I feel like this was one of those.
What's new?
Like, Travis, he's in the garage. He's in the garage, and he'll be ready by January, and then he'll look like the Travis Kelce of old.
We're still fixing the engine.
Yeah. Last play of the game, not last play of the game, but really that final drive for Kansas City where he's shocked that there was a penalty against Kansas City Chiefs. And I know Chiefs fans are not going to be happy about me saying this, but come on now, let's be real. You get all the calls ever since the D Ford thing.
It's the first time ever.
First time ever. Yeah, but that was a hell of a run from Josh Allen, though.
Yeah, I mean, give the Bills their flowers. The Bills are a
call from Sean McDermott, we got to say, because you don't get that. Chiefs easily drive down the field, kick a field goal to win the game.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna. I'll stack up these AFC teams. I'll give the Bills their flowers, but when you look at the AFC right now, are they number 2 for you? Or are they number 3? I mean, where do they stack up? I still put the Ravens at 2 for me. It's just how the Ravens are.
But here's my thing with the Ravens, and I've seen Lamar Jackson's got a 1-5 record all time against the Steelers in his career.
Oh, it's
either 1-4 or 1-5.
It's 1-4 now. I mean,
I think
it's 1-4. I think it's 1-4 now.
Okay, 1-4. This is something about it is when he always does this against either the Steelers or the Chiefs. I don't know if it's game plans. I don't know if it's like a big game, like I got to make a play. He's trying to extend plays. Use your legs.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there's something that they're doing that we don't know, like the defensive schemes that the other teams, for some reason, don't know either. But
I don't know what they're doing. And we can put the blame on the wide receivers all we want. And I feel like that's always been like the scapegoat for Baltimore. But come on now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's Mark Andrews doing now?
He had 3 fantasy points for me.
I mean, let's not even talk about fantasy points. Is he just old now? Is he just a blocking tight end now?
I don't think he's old because the games before the game against the Steelers, Washington he had 14, Tampa Bay he had 18, Cleveland he had 12.
Well, he started the season, so maybe the injury was just lingering.
Yeah, Cincinnati he had 15, so it's not like.
Yeah, all right. I mean, he's got options. Yeah. Is Lamar legit or MVP again this year? Are we talking about that too? I mean,
he's the favorite, but I feel like after
Josh Allen.
I feel like after the Bills won, it's going to slowly turn into a Josh Allen thing, and I'll just leave it at that. I think it's Josh Allen's to lose. I haven't seen much from Lamar. Like that's the thing.
But the thing is, like, he's playing so well. It's just kind of what we're used to now. He has 3 interceptions. Have you seen what his interceptions are? They're just like off his receiver's hands, right to the
and
none of them are his fault.
Yeah, that's the thing with the receivers. Yeah. But he's got to stop trying to create plays with his arm and create plays with his legs. Because that's what he's good at.
He slimmed down this year again too. Remember, he put on muscle mass last year, and then cut in this offseason. So
that's true. That is true. The Dallas Cowboys. We talked about.
Are they worse than the Jets?
They might be.
Hey, Steak. You guys gotta play him still. Well, let's see what happens. It's the Tommy DeVito versus the Cowboys now.
Spend your Thanksgiving with your loved ones. Just spend
the Isles game the night before. Watch it on Thanksgiving.
Tim, real quick, I'm gonna give you a list of names of players to score 27 or more points in the real quick NBA talk, and then we'll trickle back to the NFL. Players score 27 points in the first half of this season. Devin Booker now. Ty Jerome.
This man is the truth. You were right, and I'm watching greatest. I mean, he's a starting caliber point guard on pretty much any other team in the NBA. So to have him as a backup is kind of ridiculous because you could just start him if you need to.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna talk NBA.
Oh my God, he's 7 of 10 from 3.
Yeah, no, he's going nuclear right now. Granted, it's against the Pelicans that are starting.
Did you see?
Fucking Elfrid Payton
hasn't played a basketball game in 930 days. An NBA game.
Oh my! Anyway, back to the Cowboys being terrible. I did see a stat today, and it's disgusting. This is not what you want if you're Jerry Jones. Touchdowns scored at AT&T Stadium this season. The New Orleans Saints, 6. The Detroit Lions, 5. The Dallas Cowboys, 5. Dallas also winless at home this year ever since the Packer game in the playoffs.
Yeah, and then you know what? As a Jet fan, I'm really benefiting from them being so bad this year because it's taking a lot of the focus away from New York. And America's team has been one of the worst teams in America.
It has not been good. They're continuing with Cooper Rush at quarterback against the Commanders.
That's worse than what the Giants got going on over there.
I mean, the Texans defense made him look like semi-decent, but like, come on now.
It's Cooper Rush.
Spend your Thanksgiving with your loved ones, and I'll leave it at that. Because right now, it's really disgusting what's happening. It is. And
how about them? How about them 49ers? If you want to talk about something, they're a lifeless football team.
I think they'll be all right. I did see a stat today that they were leading with 2 minutes left against their in-division opponents. Like, they've lost almost all their games.
Wow,
like, they were leading with 2 minutes left against the Rams. Lost.
They're lifeless. I saw Mateo said this, and he said it for season 2. Those 2 losses, Super Bowl losses, all these NFC Championship runs, it wears you down, and they haven't won, and they just look a little lifeless. It's not the same team that I'm used to seeing.
And we can say injuries, like they have that excuse, like CMC not 100%, although he did say
year. That's every year.
That's every year. I mean, not last year. He was fully healthy last year.
I mean, that was ridiculous.
And everyone saw this. Everyone saw this coming, though. It feels like, because I remember like watching like betting shows talking about like taking the under on the Niners win total, basically being like, these are guys that struggle to stay healthy to stay on the field, and then they were all healthy last year. There's no way that they all stay healthy next year.
And
like,
they've played a lot of football.
They have played a lot of football. They take on the Packers in Green Bay.
It doesn't get easier for them. It really doesn't.
It doesn't. We take a look at their remaining schedule. They are at Green Bay, at Buffalo.
That's not easy.
Home against Chicago, home against the Rams, at Miami, home against the Lions, at Arizona. And with the way like that it's looking right now,
Miami might win that game if Tua plays.
Yeah, like if I'm being honest, I do see a team that we do have to mention for the first time ever in their franchise history. The Detroit Lions are the favorites to win the Super Bowl.
They're a good team.
This team is just fucking unbelievable, man.
We saw it last year.
We saw it last year, and maybe the overzealousness of Dan Campbell got in the way, but
now they're riled in. They're experienced.
Here's the thing, though. I defended it too because I was like,
but he's done it all year. Like, how do you stop doing that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. How do you? Yeah, like he's done it. Like that's his MO.
Worked.
He has
what's
balls.
Worked. So why would you stop? That's what got you there. It's like what Pete Rose says. You never change your swing. That's your swing got you to the majors. You just make adjustments.
The NFC could be running through Detroit, Michigan, and I'll just say this: even in the games that they aren't supposed to win, like that Houston game, they somehow find a way to win.
Yeah.
And that's what builds toughness in a football team. Because your quarterback throws 5 interceptions, chances are you're not winning that game.
Mm-hmm.
And here, like, what are we doing?
They're just very well-rounded, very well coached. All their skill position guys are phenomenal. I mean, from receiver to running back to tight end, their O-line is good. Their D-line is good. Imagine they had Hutchinson.
Yeah. And now Anzalone fucking broke his forearm. He's not going to be back until maybe the divisional.
Just talk about injuries. This is a team that's powering through them. That's the difference.
Yeah. Remaining schedule for the Lions: at Indianapolis, Thanksgiving against the Bears, home against the Packers, home against the Bills. That's going to be must-see TV.
Yeah.
At Chicago, at San Francisco, home against the Vikings. And that game might not even matter to any of them.
Good football team.
They're a good team. Let's talk about the Jaguars real quick, and then we'll go to college football. So, make it make sense. Shad Khan says that this is basically it for Doug Peterson. If they don't perform well in this game, he's probably going to get fired.
So he's getting fired.
They lose 52-6 to the Detroit Lions. Number one, I don't know how you can turn something around against the best team in football right now, but nonetheless, they lose 52-6.
Yeah, it wasn't a good game.
Everyone's thinking Doug Peterson's getting fired. And now Doug Peterson still has a job somehow and probably will have a job going into their game against... Who were they playing? God, why am I missing this?
Does it matter? It's like, how many dumpster fires in the NFL right now?
How many dumpster fires in the NFL? A lot. Giants, Jets,
Cowboys,
Panthers, Jaguars,
Browns.
Do the Jaguars even have a fucking game to play?
Saints?
Saints. Rizzy sort of revived that. Oh, they do have a bye. I'm an idiot. How come?
Yeah, so the Jaguars' remaining games, they got the Texans, the Titans, the Jets. So that's going to be a great one. Raiders,
Jesus
Titans
Christ.
again, and then they finish with the Colts.
I'm just wondering this right now. What's the Jets remaining schedule be? Yeah.
It's
how many nationally televised games? Okay, they're all 1:00. Thank God.
Yeah, it's Seahawks, Dolphins, Jaguars, Rams, Bills, Dolphins again. Not
all right. Thank God they're all
not a good sight.
That would have been bad. Do the Giants have any left? That's what scares me. Oh yeah, Thanksgiving. Oh my God, Thanksgiving. Okay, good. Rest at 1:00. Speaking of other teams, are we putting the Bengals in that class of dumpster fire? Are we?
Don't really know. They confused the hell out of me, Stan.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm sort of
they have good games and then they have bad games.
They dug themselves in such a big hole against LA. You go down 24-6, it's pretty impossible to come back and win from that, let alone tie it, which they did. The kicker screwed them. We do have a kicker problem in this league.
Yeah,
actually, not
in New York.
I mean, we could say that. I mean, our kicker's pretty all right. But I will say the defense sucks. Lou Anarumo was getting head coaching interviews 2 years ago, or even 3 years ago, after the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, and then he doesn't have a fucking job, or he's about to probably get fired. Zach Taylor might get fired. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow are in interviews. They do not look happy to be there.
Yeah, and it's so strange, this team, because they have good weeks. I mean, I know they lost to the Patriots to start the season. You play a very close game with the Chiefs, another close game with the Commanders, another close game with the Ravens, another close game with the Ravens. But the losses they have are just...
But there's people that are saying, oh, yeah, they'll win 9 games, make the playoffs. I'm I don't see this.
Neither do I. They got the Steelers. They're not going to beat the Steelers. They'll beat the Cowboys.
They'll beat That's going to be on Monday night. That's going to be so gross.
Do they play the Titans? I mean, they'll probably beat the Titans. Browns, Broncos, and the Steelers again. I don't have a hard schedule, but
Broncos. Broncos look good.
Well,
Bo Nix looks pretty good.
I told you.
Bo Nix looks pretty good.
I told you. I told you going into the season, Stan. And he's the second best quarterback in this draft class, and that's just what it is right now.
Daniels and Nix. Oh my God.
It's
I can't
crazy.
believe we're living. Caleb Williams at 3.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're living in that world.
Hey, you can't throw it, and they realize that. They just let him run a ton, There's a whole, just go.
It's also good coaching, too. Sean Payton, offensive mind, offensive genius.
And he gets a 24-year-old rookie.
Yeah, I feel like age does play a little bit of a factor into that.
Oh, it has to. I mean, he's more mature than most of these rookies coming in.
That's true. Let's take a look at the contest standings update. What are we at, Tim? What did you go? God, I don't even remember my record.
I think
if I'm being completely honest.
I believe this week we both went.
I went 1 and 2.
I think we both went 1 and 2. I'm pretty sure we both went 1 and 2.
So I went 2 and 1 2 weeks ago. So I was 13 and 17 going into this. Tim, you were 15, 14 and 1 going into this.
So nothing changes again.
You were 16, 16 and 1.
Yeah, and you are.
I am 15 and 18.
Nothing changes again. Another week,
nothing changes. Reality's starting to set in that I could be doing this stand-up routine, which I'll be honest, I'm excited to do that. If I lose, I'm very excited to do that because I have been a stand-up comedy guy for a while. I love watching stand-up comedy, Shane Gillis, those guys, love them. I've always wondered what it's like to be on stage.
Well, I hope you get a shot. I mean, I'm praying. I am praying, Stan, that 1 week we could both just go 3 for 3 because we need to get that rep back because it's been sloppy. It's been bad. Yeah,
It's been bad.
Well, the NFL right now it's probably the most confusing state,
it's not a good product right now.
No, I don't know what the hell we're watching. And as the years keep going by, Tom Brady is right again. The mediocrity in the NFL is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, the standard that we have for mediocrity is very disgusting. All right, let's go to college football. New bracket came out. A lot of people are up in arms about the bracket. They're checking like what's to come, what might happen. Let's just see the bracket. Let's go to the bracket. Number 1 seed, Tim, your Oregon Ducks are the number 1. Nothing's new. Number 2, we have Texas at number 2, which I find a little bit strange, to be honest, because
it's just gonna keep getting weirder every week.
Yep. Number 3, Miami. Makes sense. It could be SMU.
That's just crazy to think about.
That's just a reality that we live in right now. And then at number 4, this is where shit gets crazy. It's fucking Boise State as the 4 seed.
9-1.
Yeah, they're 9-1, which is great. And you can make the argument for BYU because, I know Kansas is a bad loss. But they were 2.5-point favorites in that game. Like, come on now. BYU also beat SMU.
Yeah, but
come on.
I'm
like fully, but like the Big 12, they're fucked. They are mega fucked. If BYU sucks and the champion, they might not even let them in.
The Big 10 is really
they might not even Big 10, not even the Big 10, the SEC.
I'm saying the Big 10's profiting here. There's a lot of Big 10 teams getting some nods. Am I wrong?
Yeah, let's see. Well, let's take a look at the other games. 5-12 game. 5 seed Ohio State taking on BYU at 12. 6-11 game.
Slaughter if that happens. That's not even. Why would I want to watch that?
Why would I want to? Yeah, exactly. Someone said like a mock spread, according to FanDuel, was 21.5. I was like, fucking take that any fucking day of the week. Are you kidding me?
They're going to win 55. If you thought the TCU championship game was bad, this one's going to be a million times worse.
Yeah. 6-11 game, Penn State, Georgia.
That didn't get Penn State's losing.
7-10 game, Indiana, Ole Miss.
See, that I actually want to watch. I feel like that could be an exciting football game.
Indiana loses. Here's the thing. If Indiana loses to Ohio State, are they out of this? Because everyone's saying weak schedule, their toughest game was a shitty Michigan team, and they haven't really beat teams that.
I don't know. Because I don't know how they're going to do this. I mean, FSU didn't lose a game last year, and they didn't make the tournament.
They didn't make it.
So I don't know how this plays out.
Here are the wins that Indiana has had: FIU, Western Illinois, UCLA, Charlotte, Maryland, Northwestern. They pummeled Nebraska, and I mean they pummeled them 56-7. Washington, Michigan State, Michigan, where they won 20-15.
I mean, like any other year, those are sick wins.
Those are good wins. But you beat Michigan, that used to mean something.
But now it means nothing because they
used to mean something in the 4-team playoff. That used to mean something.
And now they stink.
In my generation.
I don't know. I don't know how that's going to play out. Again, I don't know how.
I don't know either.
I don't know who gets in, who doesn't. Because, like we said, they fuck this up every year. So, and now that there's expanded, there's 4 teams that are going to get shafted. So, I don't know.
And in the 8-9 game, Notre Dame, Alabama in South Bend. That's theater. That's theater.
That's the one game people want to watch.
That is theater, I tell you.
It's because everyone knew how this was going to set up. The 7-10 and the 8-9 were the only 2 games people were going to care about. Because
the other 5-12
is a joke. If that BYU game happens, that is a joke. They should just let Ohio State move on.
Who knows? That could be it could be worse. It could be Army.
All right, well, then, I mean, that's a good grounded pound crew over there, Stan. I don't know. They're running hard-nosed football.
So,
shout out to Army, first of all. I mean, this is...
Yeah, they're playing really good football right now. It's going unnoticed because of BYU, but... Not BYU, because of Boise State.
Tactical football.
Great football as of late.
They're running like the Army.
Damn it. The projected first-round game spreads. And now this is from FanDuel. I've seen other tweets. They're a bit out there. BYU, Ohio State. Ohio State's favored by 21. 21's a gift. That's a gift.
I know, but it's going to be like 35 by the time the game happens, and it's like, do I want to watch that?
Georgia, Penn State, pick 'em.
Is that a crap game, or what am I missing?
I don't
here?
know. It's a pick 'em. Georgia -1.5, but that's essentially a pick 'em.
Feels like a trap game. Georgia's going to win.
Carson Beck's just so bad. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
That defense could have something with him, but like again, it's James Franklin versus the big game. Like
I saw they gave his like scouting report was so bad. Like his ceiling was like Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah.
And his like floor was so bad. Oh no, his ceiling was Daniel Jones and his floor was Blaine Gabbert. That's exactly what it was.
Again, that's disgusting. Ole Miss, Indiana. I saw some books have this at Ole Miss -4.5. FanDuel has it as a pick 'em.
Hey, you never know. Go Hoosiers.
I don't know. I mean, I'll just say this debate goes away if Indiana just fucking beats them.
Then it's
this is where
then we don't know how this. Yeah, well, then I mean, also this whole thing changes this week. I mean, something crazy could happen.
Yeah, and then Alabama, Notre Dame, pick them. I can't. If that happens,
I mean, well, let's be real. Notre Dame's the biggest choke artist. I can't back the Notre Dame Fighting Irish stand. I can't.
You want to talk about a cakewalk schedule? Oh my god, it's so gross. It's so gross what their schedule is, and like the fact
every year. I hate their fans. I do. I'm so sick.
Although they also have a pretty big game. Yankee Stadium taking on Army. That's an eliminator. Like that game. What world do we live in where Notre Dame and Army in November at Yankee Stadium, whoever loses that game does not make the fucking playoff?
And Army wins. I mean, say they move up. Somehow they get in that bye situation.
I don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Do they just vote Army out if they get in? Because I don't think the committee's going to want that at all. I don't think they're going to want that at all.
Here's the thing. Like I said this over the summer.
National TV option football is exactly what I need to see.
Yes, but there's going to be chaos the first year because there's a lot of people that like still don't understand it because we're in a situation that we're in right now where it's like,
I don't think they fully understand it.
No.
Now I really want to see Army. I need to see Army move on. I mean come on.
Yeah, but look at Notre Dame's schedule. Like A&M, that's a good win. Winning at A&M is big. Although they're 8-2. And I think that's probably the team that gets in if they want to fucking screw over Indiana. But anyway, fun fact: the NIU loss. That is.
This team shouldn't be here.
They're gonna make a bowl game. Northern Illinois is gonna make a bowl game, but still, like, come on, you cannot. And I'll just say this:
Irish.
I'll just say this: this 12-team playoff is destined. Or was destined for them because you're not in a conference. So if you're the 5 seed, if you're the best non-conference champion, you're the 5 seed. So basically, the 5 seed plays the group, the now BYU or Boise State, wherever you want to put the 12 seed, at home. You win that game, and then you play either an ACC team. We know the ACC football has not really been up to par as of late, or a Big 12 team, and we know the Big 12 football hasn't been up to par as of late. So you're basically getting a cakewalk to the semifinal.
But what's new with them? I mean, what's new? But then you know what? Then this is the fact. Well, this is going to piss me off now because Georgia's going to get a cakewalk.
Yeah, Georgia's their two biggest. I mean, not their two biggest games. I'm sorry, but one of their biggest games they lost. They were able to kind of battle back, but I don't see much happening here. Like, I don't know. I think 10's kind of, or 11 even, is kind of the best that they're going to get.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're so disgusted with their ranking right now. And I think it's just hard to keep up, to be honest, because there's so many teams and so many things to complain about with the Big 12, with Indiana, with Georgia not liking where they're ranked. Like, there's...
The only. I mean, I'm fine with it because Oregon doesn't move.
Yeah, you're fine with it. Oregon hasn't moved a muscle, and they're in this week, correct?
Yeah, well, they're gonna need it. Last week was how do we keep it at that close?
Yeah, that is true. Donovan Mitchell's still stuck at 2 assists. I don't like that.
You're up by almost 30.
It's 88-60.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So real quick, because this is kind of the only game that's actually like worth something. Are we going with Indiana or Ohio State?
Ohio State. Ohio State.
Yeah. I hate
You
to
want to
say
pick
it,
Indiana, but no, Ohio State.
you want to pick, yeah, but I think this is what gets them out. Barring like Ole Miss
let's
looks
be real.
good.
Ohio State, like, they should have beat Oregon. Should have, maybe. I mean, when you look at their roster, like,
it's not the roster, it's the coaching. That's the thing. Like, I don't expect a Ryan Day led team to like do much. Like, that's the thing that like scares me a bit.
Dan Lanning, best head coach in college football. So
yeah. Let's do NBA. Dalton Connect. That
Hooper.
Boy, good.
Yeah. No, he's a hooper.
Saw it at Tennessee. Some saw glimpses of it at Northern Colorado. This is some. Yes. This is insane. Like, every time he touched the ball, he shot it, and it went in. I think Will Hardy, the Jazz head coach, had a very interesting, I wouldn't say interesting, more so a funny quote about Dalton Connect. Let's see where it is. In the second half, it seemed like everybody in the gym knew that Dalton Connect was going to shoot the next shot, with the exception of a few people. The problem was that those few people were on our team. Like, how do you let him go for 18 in a row?
That's really funny. The head coach is something to say like that. Everyone but our team knew. Yeah, I don't know.
A few people didn't think, but the problem was the few people were on our team.
He got undervalued in the draft. Everyone said it while he kept dropping down the board. I don't know how he made it to the Lakers, but they got a steal. They got a steal.
I don't know how.
That's kind of where that's where it's at. They got a steal.
I don't know how Jared McCain ended up where he's at either. Where he ended up going either.
Both those two guys have been great. Now that we're talking about the Sixers, who cares how Jared McCain's been? Who cares?
Yeah, dude,
who cares? They are a mess.
I think they are all at full strength for the first time this year. They are currently. Oh my God.
Who cares? You got Maxey calling out Embiid for being late to everything. Paul George going up to the front office saying he's unhappy. Nope, this is the worst situation.
This is a disaster.
It's terrible.
This is a disaster.
Paul George's Tobias Harris numbers right now. This season, there's nothing.
You want to see his numbers right now at half? They're down 10 to the fucking Memphis Grizzlies at halftime. Paul George, 2 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists on 1 of 6 shooting. 0 of 2 from 3. Joel Embiid, 10 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists on 3 of 9 shooting. Tyrese Maxey, who's under minutes restriction, 5 minutes, 4 points, 1 of 4 shooting.
They stink.
They're not good.
They're not good.
They're not good.
And this is my question to you. Is this the first team out of... Because I know we're having problems in Milwaukee. We're having problems here. I heard some rumors about Houston somehow getting Giannis. I don't even know how that got brought up. But
I think that got shut down.
Well, they said they weren't going to break up their core. Houston didn't want to break up their core. Regardless.
I'd go for it. Come on.
Regardless. Is this... they made some moves in the offseason, but is this the first team we sort of see implode? Is Embiid possibly moved?
I don't think Embiid gets moved. I think they're just going to run it and see what happens.
All right.
It's not good. And the one bright spot has been Jared McCain and all of it.
Yeah. But it's so sad because it hasn't mattered. It hasn't mattered. It hasn't mattered at all.
Really. Let's talk about your Cavs. They're going to get the win tonight. They're going to improve to 16-1.
16-1.
Thank you.
If you watched last night's game, their first loss of the season, Boston played pretty good.
Shot the lights out.
They played probably their best game of the year besides the one they were very almost, broke the record of threes. Phenomenal game. I'll give them their props. There was clearly something wrong with Darius Garland. He's out hurt today, so there was clearly something off with him.
Yeah.
You're down Karis LeVert. You're down Dean Wade. You're down Isaac Okoro, who, if you guys remember last year, was the primary defender on Jason Tatum every time he was on the floor. So you're down all these expandable guys. Obviously, there's a different roster and constructed. We're running differently this year. But from the game we lost, the takeaway I could say is we have some fight. And if we play like that again, I will be very disappointed. But that was our worst game played in the year. So don't expect that to happen again. Boston kind of got away with one, in my opinion. They were up 20 at one point.
Yeah. You're right. Let's talk some Knicks real quick. Knicks winners of 3 straight.
Are they figuring it out?
It feels like they are.
Is Mikal Bridges still terrible?
Not really. He had
Okay.
In those 2 games against the Nets, he had 22 on the Friday night, 9-17 shooting, 4-7 from 3, 5 rebounds. The game on Sunday against the Nets, 21 points, 9 of 18 shooting, 3-10 from 3, 6 rebounds. So, okay. And Mitchell Robinson traveled with the team.
That's good. That's good news.
They're in Phoenix, so they got a big West Coast trip coming up, so that could be pretty big. Precious Achiuwa slowly getting there. Tibbs said a week or 2, so we can get that back up big, which is going to be nice.
Starting to put the pieces together.
Who knows? Maybe we could do a little sort of Cat at the 4, but it seems like he's used to the 5 now because Cat's been going off.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting your footing back. I still think you get Mitchell Robinson, you look to get a little more defense, just a little bit. Depending, I mean, you can always go matchup based, but I just want to take a look at the Eastern Conference right now because it's pretty terrible. You haven't looked at the standings in a while. There's 4 teams above 500.
Yeah, it's not good.
Sitting all the way at the bottom, the Sixers, we already talked about how bad they are. The Bucks in 12th, I mean, we've been talking about how bad they are.
They're winning right now.
Yeah, a team I want to talk to you about, sitting in 6th place right now at 6-7. They've won their last game. They're actually 4-6 in their last 10. Does Miami move you at all? Bam's been playing pretty decent, but Tyler Hero's had some spurts.
They got to make a move. I feel like they have to make a move.
And that's kind of where I was leading to. Who is the guy that they go after? I don't really know where you bring in, but
it's got to be a point guard. And we have, I mean, again, we're freaking like 16 games into the season.
Right. Does a guy like Colin Sexton a possibility for a team like Miami?
You need a star. You need someone to be next to Jimmy.
I like a little bit. I mean, yeah, but what star guard's really available? You're going to get Damian Lillard? I don't.
If Atlanta sucks this year, give him Trae Young.
They don't, though. Unfortunately, I would say that, but Atlanta's ahead of them in the standings.
But again, we're like a month away. We're like not even a month into the season.
I know. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. I know. But I haven't hated the way Atlanta's played.
I haven't either. New Orleans at 4-11. Like, who's a point? Like, I don't see anybody there. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to think of this.
Is Chris Paul a possibility? If the Spurs are so bad, do you even want that? Yeah.
They got a big win against the Thunder without Wemby.
Well, I don't know. They'll be bad for a while.
They move up in the NBA Cup standings because it's the Cup.
There you go.
Yeah.
Another team that has. You go.
I will say. I did say this when they announced like the whole like in-season tournament thing. I hate how it's like Eastern Conference groups and Western Conference groups.
It should be everyone.
Mix it up a bit.
Let me play with everyone.
Get like 2 Eastern Conference teams and 3 Western Conference teams.
I know it's for travel reasons, but please just
but like
spare the money.
Yeah, come on. Live a little.
A quick trip to the West. Obviously, the Warriors have been hot. Thunder, Lakers heating up as of recent. Rockets, but the Nuggets I saw a stat with Jokic on the floor, the best net rated offense ever, actually, of all time, 1.9. With him off the floor, the lowest net rated offense of all time. How do they fix this issue? I don't even. What's their plan?
They need depth, and they need it as soon as possible.
What can they move?
I don't know. They have to find something because right now you're getting minutes from Dario Saric. You're getting minutes from. I mean, I know not necessarily DeAndre Jordan, but he's played in 4 games. You're getting minutes from guys that aren't really
Kankar.
Yeah.
Strother.
I mean, he's hurt. Who? Julian
Strother.
Strother, yeah. Christian Brown. Russell Westbrook.
Yeah. Triple-double the other night, though.
Gets a triple-double. 200th career triple-double. Good for him. Christian Brown has been serviceable, but again, what helped out the Nuggets the past 2 seasons has been the play of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and they don't have him, and now they lack a true guy at shooting guard. Albeit Christian Brown's been all right, but come on, they need a guy like that.
Yeah, and
they need a guy like KCP. They need a true shooter. Now look at the Magic, third in the Third in the Eastern Conference without Paolo Banchero.
Which I mean, they don't scare me or anything, but they beat the Suns. I don't know.
Kevin Durant-less Suns, but they take on the Clippers tonight.
Suns still got some guys. I mean, you can take KD out.
That's true. Booker.
Yeah. Bradley Beal's still not playing?
Yeah, I was just about to ask you.
God, he's always hurt. And no one talks about that anymore because he's not like a bona fide superstar.
Like he's not what he once was.
The fall from grace. That dude used to average like 40. When James Harden was averaging 40 in the West, this guy in the East was averaging like 42. And they were losing by 30, but it was fun to watch.
Knicks take on the Suns tonight. You mentioned Phoenix Suns, favored by 4.5.
They home?
No, in Phoenix. Very excited.
The late night game, 10 o'clock, West Coast.
I'll say this: I love the late night games. People
for basketball. I do. For basketball, I do. For hockey, it gets a little. It's like 1 a.m. and I'm like really trying to focus in on. It's in overtime.
Basketball,
I'm like, oh my god.
Baseball, I like them for.
It depends on the mood I'm in. If I'm like hanging out with the boys and there's like a game and first pitch is at 10:30, I don't mind. I'll hang up for a little bit.
Yeah.
But if we're not doing anything and I'm like just sitting around all day, those 3 o'clock starts, whatever, I special place in my heart.
10 o'clock games during the summer because you have no responsibility. You have no responsibility.
Watch some ball.
Yeah,
and you know what?
The 7. We did that for a Met game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and the 7 o'clock games too. I have had a lot of times with me and Joe Toole will finish caddying and just boom, straight on.
This is a funny story, unrelated to the day after. So I told you about this, right? How some guy threatened to kill me.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me.
Okay.
You did tell me.
Yeah. Yeah. That was fun. I was very hungry. I didn't see him. Who knows? We'll look back at the cameras. The next day, I was walking. I'm like, you can still see the skid marks on the tire.
Hey, listen, nothing. No harm, no foul. No harm, no foul.
I lived, bitch. Yeah.
No harm, no foul.
If that guy ever finds me again, I think he actually will kill me.
I remember that car. I remember that
shitty Mazda 6. 2012 Mazda 6. Let's go to hockey. The Rangers have quietly brought up 3 straight wins.
First line, their new first line starting to click. Bring back the old first line, call it the new first line.
Yeah, this is... Well, not the new first line, technically, because this was...
I know, that's what I'm saying. The new first line again, because the old first line... The new...
Yes, you're right.
It's like when they bring the McRib back.
Yeah, you're right. Basically, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I don't know what... I understood why they made the switch, because, Mika wasn't doing stuff 5-on-5. Kreider was kind of But it seems like they're having... It feels like the first... I saw Johnny Lazarus say this. It feels like for the first time all year they were having fun, and I'm not trying to sound like an idiot.
No,
I just go out there and have fun. But Capo Caco scored last night and smiled. You never see that out of a guy.
They're settling in. They're settling in. That's what it is. And they got their lines now back together. They're starting to put a string of wins together. They're 12-4-1. So which is somehow
a fucking wild card spot in the East.
Yeah, well, Washington's 13-4-1. You got Carolina 13-4, and the Devils, who were 12-7-2, have played 21 games. So I wouldn't think too much of them.
I wouldn't. Yeah,
but they're putting it together.
I was just gonna mention Boston firing Jim Montgomery.
You know what? Record aside, they haven't won any playoff series, and it just wasn't working this year. It wasn't.
I mean, no, they did win a playoff series.
One, but compared to what they've had in the past, where you've seen them go into multiple rounds constantly. I mean, that's
fair.
It hasn't been the same product.
And in that one playoff series that they won, they almost blew a 3-1 lead. It had to take overtime in Game 7.
See, so yeah. I mean, it's not the Bruins team we're used to seeing. I mean,
I know, but I just feel like he's a scapegoat.
Well, that's the problem in the NHL. The NHL is a head coach's revolving door. If your team is losing because it's a hard cap, there's not really much you can do as a front office. So get out of here. Let's bring in a new head coach. See if that changes.
Here is my pitch to you. From 2022 to now, Jim Montgomery's record, 120, 41, and 23. He's unemployed.
Yeah.
Mike Sullivan, 85, 73, and 26. And he's deemed as a golden boy.
Yeah, it's the way the league... he's going to get a job. I mean, I don't know where yet.
I think there's another black and gold team that would desperately want him.
Well,
if they fire said golden boy.
Mm-hmm. It's a good. Actually, I didn't even think of that. Was a good. Could be right there. I mean, we'll see. I mean, obviously, we saw last year. Lane Lambert was out the door like 22 games, and then 4 other head coaches get fired.
Bringing Patrick Waugh.
Yeah, it's a revolving door with head coaches, and we can talk about the Isles now too, because as you know, I said last time, nothing changes. They are now 7-7-5. You know what they were last time we spoke, Stan? They were 6-6-4. So I don't really. We played 3 games in a week. Nothing changes. Yeah. You just have the same record, but add 1 to each. So yeah, you know what? The AHL Isles, they're fighting by tooth and nail. I'll give them the props because this is a very injured hockey team, but. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they lost in a shootout.
There's another NHL story that happened, and I'm blanking on
JT Miller.
No, yes, Ovi hurt as well.
Knee on knee injury. Yeah, really, as he was like heating up. I mean, this is. I heard it's only week to week. I heard it was nothing crazy, but
just the run that he's on right now.
I know
absurd.
It's tough to stop that guy.
And I hate the guy.
Well, he's just Ovi. He's just Ovi. He's the grade 8.
Just Ovi. Whatever.
JT Miller, real quick. So what I saw originally was that he got benched in the 3rd period because they thought he was not fit to help the team come back and win. And then we go on to the next day, and he drops his whole statement saying he's taking a leave of absence for personal reasons. He's not in the player assistant program.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what's going on. I am sure it could be something family related. I don't know, but they pay the man a lot of money. It's a really tough loss for them, especially.
I feel bad. He's got young kids too.
Yeah, they're 9-6-3, not where they were last year at this spot.
The record, not the kids' ages.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. The record. Sorry. No, they're not in the same spot they were last year. But that's a tough blow. I hope everything's all well with him off ice. We'll, obviously there'll be more to the story later. But
right, moving on to what I saw. Tim, start us off.
For any of you college hockey fans out there,
Tim, come on, you went to the fucking D3 equivalent of UNC Duke.
Stan. You got to hear me out first.
Okay. You can have multiple what I saw.
Well, then I'll have 2. The UMass Lowell Riverhawks actually sweep this weekend. They moved to 13th in the country. They're now ranked ahead of the likes of BU. UMass is not ranked ahead of teams like UConn. They're really moving into a spot where they are in a position, Stan, right now to win the entire Hockey East. They are sitting in 3rd place in the Hockey East with 12 points of Hockey East play. The 2 teams ahead of them are
Boston College.
I don't actually think BC's ahead of them. I think it's 2 other teams.
Are they in the same conference?
Yeah, but it's interdivision. This is just Hockey East play, just to win the Hockey East point wise. I don't think they've played. I think BC's only played like 4 games Hockey East wise. Regardless, they're 2 down from the spot. The 2 teams ahead of them have played 9 games and 8 games. UMass Lowell at 5 games played at 12 points. The leaders at 17. So if they sweep this weekend against UConn, that's 4 more points for Hockey East play. They might have a legit shot at the Frozen Four.
I will mention, did you see that fucking goal from
Oh my God. Right in front of that in overtime. Well, the funny thing is,
Perot's goal was even more disgusting.
Hagen's just fanned on the one in the we're talking about the OT one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hagen's fanned on it, then they fanned on it again, and then finally, boom, through the legs around the back. I mean, come on. That team's talented. We got them in 2 weeks.
They're very talented. How was Cortica?
It was fun. I drank a lot. I didn't really watch much of the game, but it was just fun to hang out with my boys again.
How did it feel to be back in the motherland?
Honestly, it was not the same. It was a little weird. Definitely a little weird.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. I don't have my old house, and people are doing different things now, so not the same. But
do you know the people living in your house or no?
Yeah. I still know all of them, but it's just not the same. They're not like all my people I was living with. They all graduated, so yeah.
It's like
so it's just a little different.
A little strange. You're like, hey, I did that there.
It's like, oh yeah, I know them. Like I'm not like not familiar with them. I'm like on a friendly basis with them, but like I'm not like, oh, it's good, boys. Like, no offense.
Fair. What I saw, I went to the This Is Funny They hold me to such a high standard at this college. I actually ended up getting tickets to a pregame at a very bougie bar for the Siena U Albany game. These were like $200 tickets. I got them for free. This was hysterical. Like the fact that like I ended up there with like all of like the board of trustees at Siena College. I was like, I'm living.
I would just be sitting in the corner on my phone.
Oh, I socialized at the bar. Are you kidding me?
I mean, yeah.
I socialized. I was like,
I'm not shocked.
I had this like bourbon, lemon, and honey. Oh my god, so good.
Should have started telling them how to reconstruct the basketball roster. If we just get more NIL deals, we'll be able to.
Well, no, like that was like the thing they were like preaching too. Like the guy that like runs like our NIL like collective here was like, this is the new norm. Like
you should have been like, preach, brother, preach. We need more funds.
That's what we were doing.
We need more funds.
Yeah. And then my next one I saw, the gang is getting back together, and by the gang I mean inside the NBA is making the move to ESPN. It's happening. Order has been restored.
Finally.
Yeah. Finally. Order has been restored. I'm very happy that Chuck Kenny and the crew are Chuck Kenny, Shaq, and Ernie. Thank you.
Yeah.
Back. They said that they might not get like that much of looks.
Anything's better than nothing. It's tough. I mean, they are getting older. They've been doing this for how long?
They are.
35 years.
Like
so
15.
I mean, how old?
No, since like the 90s.
Yeah.
But Shaq didn't join
until he was done. But when Chuck finished, it was him and Chris Webber. Ernie's been there for.
Not Chris Webber. No, it was Ernie, Kenny, and Chuck.
No, Chris Webber was on it at one point. I swear he was. Maybe he just guest starred.
Let me find this. It's been on the air since 1989, but I don't think that they've had like.
Yeah, on March 27, 2008, Chris Webber made his first appearance on television inside the NBA along Charles Barkley and host Ernie Johnson. That was before Kenny was even there.
So it was Ernie Johnson since 1990, Kenny the Jet.
Oh, he joined in 98. I guess he was there then.
Barkley in 2000, Shaq in 2011. But then at one point it was Ernie, Kenny, Chuck, and Magic Johnson.
Wow.
And then Ernie, Kenny, Chuck, Chris Webber, Ernie, Kenny, Chuck, Reggie Miller.
Yeah, Reggie Miller from 08 to 11.
And then Shaq came along. So yeah, they're gonna be. I'm happy.
Chris Webber was funny.
Happy.
If you've seen some of those Chris Webber clips, it is pretty him and because that's when like Chuck was. They were younger. Him and Chris. They were unhinged.
My favorite. This sounds like.
And women down in San Antonio.
Yes, they're drinking that Galveston water. They're drinking that Galveston water.
They're eating all those churros down in San Antonio.
Oh my god! I will say, let's fucking go. My bet hit. Giannis, 30+ points.
That Galveston water.
Thank you.
They got some funny clips.
The best was Chris Webber during the bubble, and LeBron hits a 3. Portland all the time. But you're a black man in this country. You must not decompartmentalize. And he was just like, everyone was like,
decompartmentalize. No one knew.
Everyone was like, no. I still have no idea what it means.
No, it does. I looked. It has no context in that situation, like at all.
And it's like I understood, like the country was going through some tough times.
I understand. Yeah, I understand the point he was promoting. I get it, but it's the way he did it was just
the way he did it was just like LeBron hits his 3 to go up by 15.
I just want to say,
a black man in this country.
It's just crazy. Like it really was crazy times. I mean, the Luka hitting the step back on the BLM logo. It was just the bubble was TJ Warren dropping 50 a night.
Yeah, my situationship ended. Luka did that. It cured my depression.
That's the way to do it.
And then I got an A+ pre-draft or post-draft grade on my fantasy draft, and I was like, you know what?
Things are good. Things are good.
I won the day.
I'm trying to think of some other funny Chuck moments. They've had so many funny moments.
3 words. Steve Nash and Chris Paul. 2 words. Steve Nash and Chris Paul must see TV.
Those are 2 words.
That's the best one.
Nash and Paul. That's still not 2 words.
Still not 2 words. Did you see? Real quick before we wrap this up, did you see the match? Like what they're doing this year?
Let's go, Gretzky.
Love it.
Let's
So
go,
for those who
Gretzky.
don't know, usually the match consisted of, two people. And it would, like, one year it was, when did it start? It was originally Tiger and Phil.
Tiger and Phil bullshit. That was like the worst golf ever. They had 3 combined birdies in the whole thing.
Yeah, that was not good. Then it sort of like turned into
Brady, Rogers.
Yeah, Brady and Rogers against Allen Mahomes. Then like one year it was Spieth and JT against Rory and Tiger. And then there was one in June or the summer of 2023, Mahomes and Kelsey against Curry and Clay. Like, they do shit like that. This year, it's sort of an individual bracket, but it's going to include. So basically, it's going to be like team play for the first round, but whoever wins that, like the team that wins, then they play each other one-on-one. So the teams are Charles Barkley and Ken Griffey Jr., Wayne Gretzky,
I don't know
Bill Murray.
Okay, wait, hold on, real quick. Is Ken Griffey Jr. any good at golf? I've never even seen him swing.
I would say so.
You know what, though? I will. You know what? For the man with the smoothest swing ever in baseball history, I'm sure he's got some tempo on the course.
I would assume Charles Barkley against Ken Griffey, Wayne Gretzky and Bill Murray, Michael Phelps and Mark Wahlberg, Nate Bargatze and Blake Griffin. I feel like that's
the Phelps-Wahlberg team might be a little bit of it might be sandbagging.
But then the team split apart.
Yeah.
So it's not like. So
I just want to see Gretzky move on to the next round. We'll see what happens. That first team, because obviously my money's always going to be on Ken Griffey. Because come on, that's the kid.
That's the kid. That's the goat.
Kid. Is it?
That's the goat.
All right. Well, before we get this up, I was saying before we wrap this up, is that the most like in all of sports really? Because you talk about like all-time greats in basketball and in football. I don't really see kids these days. I'm saying kids these days, like I'm not 21 years old, but who talks about Ken Griffey? I mean,
not a lot of people.
Come on, that's the kid.
Here's my thing, and this is a completely like disrelated thing. What is the rarest jersey that you have ever seen? And I'll tell you what mine is. Like, never seen it ever.
I saw a Mike Piazza Mars Mets when they did the. Like,
have you ever seen anyone with a Barry Bonds jersey?
Maybe like one time with a Giants one, but nothing like.
I've never seen someone with a Barry Bonds jersey.
I've seen some crazy ones.
I think I might buy one from frickin'.
Okay, well, you want to talk about crazy jerseys? How about this? Hanley Ramirez, pinstripe, Miami Marlin.
I want it. I literally, Tim, you're going to kill me. The week of your birthday, I was like, let me just scour eBay. Because like I remember you mentioned it before. You wanted the pinstripe Florida Marlins Hanley Ramirez jersey.
That's the one.
I saw it, Tim. It was like $400.
They're so expensive. No, don't even like. I walked into one of those like all sports shops where they have like the vintage jerseys and stuff. And I was like, how much? Because they had one. It was a pinstripe Miggy, like way back. And I was like, how much for this? And he was like $230. I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, no.
I'm walking out of here.
I saw a kid one time. I went to a Yankee game.
Oh, you know what? I have. Have you seen a Kenneth Faried jersey? I have one.
Wow.
Or how about this? Blake Bortles Color Rush 2017.
You have that?
I have that. I own that jersey. I have Dylan Larkin. I have Dylan Larkin Team North America.
You need to wear like stupid jerseys.
I have crazy ones. I have the Manimal. I have Danilo Gallinari.
You've done that. Oh my god.
I have Sam Bradford on the Rams.
That one I did know.
I have that. That one's kind of random.
That one I did know. All right.
What else do I have?
We're pushing an hour 20 here.
Yeah, but it's got to be like one random jersey that I've seen that I just like.
I saw a kid with like a custom Met jersey on and said UConn on the back. I was like, what the fuck is this? Why would you let your kid out of that?
Yeah, that's kind of nuts.
I get it. Like, they won the national championship that year, but it was like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like,
all
I'm seeing
right.
Mr. Met on arm sleeve, and then
I got this. Give me. This is the last thing before we go. The craziest jersey you've seen anyone wore to a game that you saw in the stands. You're like, where the hell did you get that?
My God, I saw this one at the fucking Yankee game, and I'm blanking.
You want me to go first? Because I got a crazy one.
Yes.
Tim Thomas never dressed a single game for the New York Islanders. He was traded there for about 14 days. A dude like 4 rows in front of me was wearing a Tim Thomas Islanders jersey one time. So that is, there you go. That's probably the craziest one I've seen. I saw one on Twitter where some MLB guy who played only one spring training game, and he had his jersey. Like the guy had his jersey. He must have been like his dad or something. There's no way, but
all time. the Carmelo Anthony Atlanta Hawks jersey.
You've seen that?
I haven't seen it, but I saw like someone on Twitter where it's like, oh my god,
who has that? That was like
someone,
that was like
not even maybe like 2 hours.
that's kind of nuts. There's got to be
2 hours.
There's other guys that's happened to.
The best one, like wearing like a non like like going to a game, like wearing a jersey of someone that is just like not being represented. I went to the Sam Darnold mono game, and Mike Morrissey wore a Tampa Bay Buccaneers Jameis Winston jersey to the game.
Showing his support.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
He's the only guy I know. I have a Manti Te'o Notre Dame jersey. There's no name on the back because it was pre-NIL, but
yeah. Hey, this I'll give myself props to this one. In about like 6 years, this Oliver Wahlstrom jersey I have, I don't think.
Yeah, that's not gonna go for much.
No one's gonna have one of those.
That's not gonna go for much. All right. All right. That's gonna wrap it up. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. There we go. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube, like our videos on YouTube, leave a comment. Be sure to follow us and rate us on Spotify.
5 stars.
5 stars only. We will see you guys next week. Wednesday? I know
Same
Thanksgiving.
Well, actually,
Wednesday 8 o'clock. You don't want to be doing. You're gonna want to be doing this shit.
Wrong answer. I didn't realize that was Wednesday. I'm not, dude. I am so long. Like I have no sense of like anything going on right now. I
lost my concept of time.
I have so much like to do, like schoolwork wise, that I just. Well, I mean, I did most of it, but it's just like you do it, and then I'm like, I don't care what day it is. Like I just need to get to tomorrow.
I said to Tim today, I was like, the fact that my sense of meltdown-ish has kind of gone away. So that's good. Yeah,
there you go. I mean, even earlier, like we were about to record, I didn't even know it was 8 o'clock. I looked at my phone. I was like, oh my God, it's 8 o'clock.
Fair enough. All right. Yeah. We'll see you guys Wednesday. How about Wednesday afternoon, since we're going to be home?
Wednesday afternoon. Honestly, we can do it in person Tuesday afternoon. We can do it any. We'll be home.
I'll be here Tuesday afternoon, probably.
We'll be home. So
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
All right. Peace out, guys.